Welcome to Queer Conversation. In today's episode, you will meet Darcy Fox, an Australian singer and songwriter from Melbourne who just released her new single, Ashamed. Hey Darcy, welcome to Queer Conversation. Really happy to have you here on the show today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Our readers don't know much about you, and there are various reasons, I guess. You are only young and you haven't done a great deal of recording. But you have released today,
Yes.
on the 14th of October, your new single, Ashamed, which
Yes.
we are going to talk about. And congratulations, this is great. And I really hope this will go well for you. But what I would like to do first is to just get to know you a little bit. You are an out and proud lesbian singer-songwriter down in Melbourne.
Yes, that's right.
Can you give us a little bit of your history? How did you get there where you are now? And your motivation, etc. That would be great to find out a bit more about you.
Yeah, cool. I grew up in a really musical household. My mum is a musician, and her dad was a musician as well. And they had like a family show band that traveled around. So music was kind of always in my blood. So I've been writing and recording music for quite a long time now. But I feel like with this release, I'm really pushing it, and it's kind of my first big release since being out, and it's something that I wanted to dive into because obviously being queer and all the things that come with that are a big part of my life, and so that plays into the stories that I want to tell.
So you came out in 2017.
Yes.
And this song, Ashamed, you actually wrote in 2017, and it took you only 5 years to release it. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, well, I wrote the song, I was in the throes of this breakup and feeling my feelings a lot. When I first wrote it, it was quite sad and everything. And I did do a recording of it, not long after I wrote it. But I just kind of held on to it for a while because I just felt like I wasn't ready to release it at that point yet. And then I knew that I wanted to do more with it, so I kind of held on to it until I started to record this new work that I'm doing, which I actually started recording at the start of 2020, but we all know what happened there. So there's been a few delays in that sense, but I feel like it's coming out at the perfect time now because the way that the song has changed in the recording process, and I feel like I can add even a new meaning to it now that I'm in such a comfortable place with my sexuality and my identity and everything like that.
I really loved listening to the song, and I encourage our readers to make sure to download it, and also head to lotl.com where we have an article on Darcy and that release with a link to listen to the song. I was about to ask, when you write a song, what happened to you back then, and 5 years later, it's a whole different ballgame.
Totally.
How much has the song changed? Has the song changed in the lyrics?
I think the lyrics haven't changed. The lyrics stay the same, but it's kind of more in the delivery and in the production and that. I feel the production changed also, and it became more angry. And I think looking back, I can sort of feel that anger and a bit of indignation for my younger self. I'm like, hey, that wasn't cool to her. I feel like I look back with that sort of lens, and when I perform it, it's even more angry than it was at the time.
Without having read the lyrics of the song, but I think I read about what the song was about, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was a closeted relationship, right? So
Yes.
Was your partner closeted, or were you both closeted and you weren't allowed to come out, or what was the story there?
Yeah, so it was both of our first queer relationships, and I do want to say that I don't think that anybody should ever have to come out before they're ready or at all or anything like that, but there was a point where I was very ready to come out, and I was sort of tired of pretending that we were just friends, and some people around us knew, but a lot of people in her circle didn't know. So when I was with her and her people, they didn't know, and I was like having to just be like, oh, I'm just a friend was really damaging, I think, to me at that time when I felt it was my first real relationship and it was quite heartbreaking.
Mm. Do you remember, I mean, I put you on the spot here, but can you recite some of the lyrics
Yes.
for us?
So we've got like the first verse, it goes, I wonder if your friends will ever ask about me anymore or if they wonder why I just stopped coming around. Because that was that thing when I was like, well, are her friends going to notice that I'm not around anymore? Are they going to ask any questions about that? Because it would seem weird to me if the shoe was on the other foot. And then, so the chorus goes, but it's such a shame that you were so ashamed of me, and I'm a fool for holding on so long, and I'm blaming you for this change in me because I can't shake it even though you're gone. Because I feel like in that relationship, I lost a big part of myself and I changed a lot in ways that I didn't really like, because not only was the relationship closeted, it was quite toxic and emotionally destructive. So I was dealing with that, but also dealing with being in the closet. So I couldn't really talk about it either.
Mm. So moving forward, or just looking at you generally as a musician, I had to Google yesterday what it means. I've never came across. You use a very it's not a unique technique, but a technique not every musician uses, which is this pedal.
Oh yes, yeah, my loop pedal.
So I had to Google it because I've never seen that before, and then it was really interesting, and I do like your style and what you do. So you are you prefer to perform by yourself, and with that pedal that enables you to do so. Is that right?
Yeah, totally. So I've done like most of my performing, over the past however long, 8 years or whatever, has been done with the pedal, and it's been such a handy tool because I can be like a one-woman band without having to have anyone around me, and it gives me all this freedom. I think that moving forward I probably do want to do some more band stuff because I really do enjoy like feeding off the energy of other performers on stage, and I think that that's really fun. So I'll probably keep the loop pedal in some circumstances, and then other times I want to try rocking out with the band a little bit.
But tell me a little bit, just in a nutshell, don't go into it too much. How does the pedal work?
Yeah, so basically you just record it. So you press the button on it, you record something on the spot, and then that will just keep looping and playing. And then you can add on the top, keep adding on layers and loops, or you can just keep playing along with it, and you can stop it and start it. So it helps to build this bed of noise and different layers.
Oh, that's really cool. You have to be able to play the guitar, sing, and do this.
Yeah,
not everybody can do that, I think.
I explain it as it's kind of like a dance, because I'm like, I know at what points my foot has to do this to do this. So it's kind of, I've used it so much that it's second nature now, but at the time it was, a learning curve. And I drove my parents crazy because I was living at home at the time, and they were hearing the same terrible loop on repeat as I was figuring it out. But we got there in the end.
Should have done the same to their parents if they are musicians.
Totally.
Cool. All right. Do you prefer recording in the studio or live? What's your preference there?
I think that I prefer to record in the studio. I think that you can have more flexibility to play around with different sounds and try things out. And I think that sometimes doing live stuff can be a little bit scary because you're like, oh, what if I don't get it right? And you have to go all the way back to the start. But you have that freedom in the studio to, go back to a certain bit and redo that so you can just get it perfect. But I'm not against doing something live, but I think just at this stage, I'm enjoying the studio stuff.
But I did read that you love busking.
Yes, yeah, I've done some busking in the past, and that's always a great way to sort of connect with people on the street that you might not usually, get your music out to and stuff like that. So that's always good as well.
So do you have any live gigs coming up with, I don't know, Chill Out and Midsummer, etc.? Are you involved with that, or have you been, or will you be?
Not at this stage. Hopefully, we'll try and push for maybe next year and stuff. But at the moment, I've just been working on the songs and getting the tracks all ready, so then we can go full steam ahead into the next year with a good solid base of music to promote and to really show who I am, because I've released a bit of music in the past, but I feel like it's not as representative of what I'm doing now. So I wanted to get all this new stuff out.
Great. Well, I just did communicate with Chill Out Festival today, and we did a post on their lineup on for Chill Out.
Oh, beautiful.
With the lesbian talents.
Oh,
and
cool.
there is heaps, and they really are supporting lesbian artists. So I hope to see you on stage there one year.
Yes, I hope to be.
Yeah, I mean, your style seems very suited to that festival anyway.
I did release a single last year called She's in London Now, which is also going to be off the album that Ashamed is going to be on. I crowdfunded for it in the start of 2021. So yeah, a bunch of people helped me to, get the money together to record, which I'm super grateful for. So I released that song to kind of promote the crowdfunding campaign, and then Ashamed is sort of the first. It's not the first single because She's in London Now was, but I feel like Ashamed is the first one that it's like, this is the album. And yeah, so they all go together. So She's in London Now is kind of another bit of a indie rock sort of track, which was about a backpacker that I dated, and that feeling of like that person is far away and you can't do anything about it. So Ghost is another one I wrote about this same sort of relationship and everything that Ashamed is about, but I released this one a few years ago now, and I feel like Ashamed and Ghost are kind of two sides of the one coin. Ghost is the sad version and the heartbroken version, and Ashamed is the the angry cousin or something like that. And Ghost is about, it's just being completely heartbroken and being like, you were my home, and I don't know what to do anymore after this relationship breaks down. But I do allude to the fact of the queer relationship in the song, because there's a line that says, I wish you could have been a little braver. I wish you hadn't been so damn afraid of the opinions of a passing stranger or what all of your friends would say, which is just a little nugget in there about the story.
So you need to find another muse to write, because you can't keep on right after breaking up with people.
That's true. Well, I'm in a very happy, loving relationship now, so I'm moving on to more love songs and things like that now, which is much nicer. But we got to get all these songs out into the open first, and then I'll move on to the happy stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Well, how can people support you? And because you mentioned before you had a crowdfunding campaign which was successful and which is amazing. So you must have a very loyal fan base. How can people join that fan base?
Yeah, well, you can find me on all of the social platforms at Darcy Fox Music. I'm always posting things on Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. And I love to get people involved, ask questions and polls, and just really want to connect with people who will resonate with my music. But I just want to, hopefully people can go and check out Ashamed and, stream it, and hopefully they like it.
I'm sure they will. And again, people can find it on Spotify or any other musical platform. Just search for Ashamed. And all right, cool. Well, Darcy, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And yes, you're very welcome. If you'd like to find out more about Darcy Fox, make sure to check out our article on lotl.com, where you can also download her track. If you enjoy queer conversation, make sure to follow us at Lotl Media, or check out our website lotl.com, where you can find 30 years of Lesbians on the Loose magazine archived. My name is Silke Bader, and thank you for your company.